My name is Hector Barajas Varela, and I was born in Fresnillo, Zacatecas in 1977. I'm currently 40 years old. My parents actually migrated to the United States before my sister, me and my older sister. We actually had two siblings that passed away beforehand, Rosy Cuco. Eventually, it was just three of us, and I came to the United States in 1984 at the age of 7. We originally moved into Gardena, California. They got their first house in Compton. We were actually the first Mexicans to move into the all-black neighborhood, and so there was a lot of you could feel the animosity that there was some people didn't want us there. It was difficult growing up in Compton because there was like racism, racial riots. You couldn't walk through certain neighborhoods, a lot of gangs, drugs, and it was hard growing up in Compton. I graduated in 1995 from Compton High, and I thought about the military, so I had already started the process at the age of 17. Didn't actually go active until the age of 18. I had another culture shock when I joined the military because I met all these different ethnicities. Like, because I'd predominantly grown up in a African, Mexican American neighborhood for a while, and then I'm exposed to Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, African Americans from different parts of the country. That really, I wouldn't say everybody was anti-Mexican, but now there's none of that gang, this and that, or color lines. There is some, but it wasn't like the focus of why you're doing basic training. It was just like, we're trying to get through this shit, through the basic training and everything. One of the things that I remember is when I was coming home that I was wearing my uniform during leave, and people looked at me differently. My parents were like super happy. They were so happy that I joined the military and that I was getting away from being a troublesome kid. I wasn't a bad kid, but I was troublesome. And they're happy, and they were happy that like I was the first person from all my cousins to join, and everybody's happy that I was in. So one of the things that I remember when I joined at the age of 17, I was promised citizenship. Unfortunately, it's not automatic, and I didn't follow through on it, and I didn't check to see if I was a citizen. But that didn't happen until I started serving in my actual unit. I actually ended up serving with the 82nd Airborne, which is we're considered America's Guard of Honor. We did a lot of airborne operations, a lot of training, a lot of camaraderie with the unit because you work a lot of hours, a lot of field exercises, and just being prepared to be anywhere in the world within 18 hours and in a combat zone. But fortunately, I didn't end up in a combat situation, and I did my military service from 95 through 99. In 99, my window opened up to re-enlisted, and I re-enlisted into Fort Bliss, Texas. Unfortunately, when I got to El Paso, I started having problems, addiction issues, alcoholism, and there was less discipline. At the end of the day, it really comes down to the individual, but it was a different military structure, and it was more relaxed, and I just fell by the wayside. And you do a self-referral, you can't have any alcohol-related incidents. I had a DUI. I was chaptered out of the military with honorable discharge and all my benefits, except I couldn't re-enlist. That had me pretty angry, and along with all the other stuff that I had going on. Eventually, I had a hard time transitioning. I was on food stamps, putting applications different places. Couldn't get a job to the jobs that I wanted. But it wasn't long before I got in trouble. In 2001, of Christmas Eve, I was involved in an incident where there was somebody fired a weapon from a vehicle to another, and I went to prison for 3. I was sentenced for 3 years, and I did about 2. Prior to going to prison and going to jail, I was living in El Paso. I came to visit California. Me and my daughter's mother were corresponding via email, and we actually met like a day prior, and the relationship continued. Eventually, I served my prison sentence. I got out in 2003, but unfortunately, I had an immigration hold, and I was put in a plane from California State Prison to Eloy Detention Center in Arizona, and I fought my case there for a year, and that was the beginning of my deportation. I call it nightmare. So I had lived out the American dream, and now I'm living the American nightmare.